Been a long time. Been gone for a little while. A lot of things have happened. Glad to be back. Just kind of in the normal groove. We're back here live on X Spaces. We're live on YouTube. We're live on LinkedIn. Shout out to LinkedIn, man. We're live on Twitch. We're live on X. We're live with Spaces. Guys, share the room. Share the room out for us. Mike sounds a little funny. That's what Paige said. Where does it sound funny? On X Spaces?
It sounds a little off, Zach. I don't know what it is, but it don't sound normal.
Really?
Maybe it's just me. You don't. We can hear you and understand you. It just does. It could be clearer. I don't know how to explain it. When you listen back, you'll be like, oh, okay.
Does it get better or worse if I do this?
What did you do?
I just brought the mic closer. I don't know.
No, it's tolerable, Zach. I'll put it that way.
All right, I got people in the YouTube chat saying, "Tell Paige to get over it, get on with the show." So that's what we're gonna do.
I'm talking to people on YouTube, Zach. You know what? I can't say it because you're streaming on YouTube. But if you weren't, I would say some words.
Well, anyways, we're gonna get on with it. If I got to drop down and come back, I will on here. But I'm live. I think I'm sounding good. Let me know if I'm sounding good on the live stream, guys. On the YouTube side, X, live, all that stuff. Let me know if I'm sounding okay there. But we got a lot to get into, man. A lot happening. I think everybody wants to know, like, what the hell's going on here? Why are stocks crumbling? Why is crypto crumbling? All of a sudden, the sentiment has shifted. And I don't think it's a crypto problem. I mean, we've seen this happen many, many times before. I think crypto is just part of it. And there's been a lot of buffoonery, for a lack of better words. Just that's what it is. It's buffoonery. And every time we think we're out of the woods, it just feels like something else happens. Now the Federal Reserve is starting to, have all this uncertainty around it. There's a, higher chance than we've seen in a long time for a potential rate hike. I don't think that's going to happen. We're going to get into all of it, though. I'll tell you this. I mean, I'm not going anywhere. I think crypto is super well positioned. I think we're going to have a massive, massive run up at some point. I can't tell you if it's going to be tomorrow, next week, next month, etc. But be ready, be positioned, and that's really what I talked about already in my video that's out this morning. And I wanted to kind of just use that as a jumping off point today. But we're seeing pressure across a lot of different markets. The tech sector, which Bitcoin and crypto, I mean, let's just face it, right now it's tied up into the tech sector. It's tied up into the semiconductors and AI trade. It's treated like a risk-on asset. And so, the Federal Reserve, they meet tomorrow. We'll kind of see how it all plays out. I think it's going to be a nothing burger again. That's my gut. And the odds are leaning that way too. My gut is that it's going to be a nothing burger again. No hike, no cut, just, what we've seen happen for a while. But there is a legitimate possibility of a rate hike, and I think the markets are responding to that. Bitcoin, 63,000 and some change. ETH down 4% right now. XRP down almost 5%. Solana down almost 5%. Hyperliquid getting smashed, down 9%. And everybody's freaking out. They're running for the hills, and it's frustrating. But remember, this is what the depths of the bear markets feel like. This is what the depths of the bear market look like. This is exactly what they want. They want to squeeze you to a point where you feel like there's no hope and you're gasping for air. And I feel like we're closer to that than we are to the beginning of this whole thing. So regardless, I mean, let's just face it, right? Bitcoin was below 60,000 not that long ago. It's not like we haven't been here. It's not like this is uncharted territory. It just feels bad because we were on a nice little upkick there, and then Robinhood meme coins and Robinhood chain comes out and Cash Cat and all this, but I think that's a good sign overall for markets that we are getting into a better situation. But, the U.S.-Iran situation, obviously, it's so difficult to try to verify anything. I mean, every single day it's like a new storyline or, somebody's going to do something, but we don't know what they're going to do. I mean, but that's creating uncertainty across the board with risk on assets, no doubt about it. It's not helping us. The global AI, semiconductor trade, definitely getting an unwind right now. And, people are getting risk off and they're not ready to, fully rotate that into Bitcoin and crypto. And a lot of that has to do with the Clarity Act on the crypto side. You got the Clarity Act, which now I think it's probably more unlikely to pass before the Senate leaves for summer recess, whereas a week ago, things looked really good. Actually, less than a week ago. But now there's all kind of new reports out that, they're basically tabling it. They're focusing on other things. The important point here is that, traders across the board, which this market is filled with traders right now, right? It's been a trader's market. Not so much people holding spot. Traders are just reducing risk. Like if you really just zoom out and look at this for what it is, all it is people unwinding risk before there's more answers tomorrow with the Fed on monetary policy, until there's more information related to inflation and what they're going to do with that, until there's more information with geopolitics, and then they'll go risk on again. We've been without kind of the spot buyers and really, retail crypto investors for a long ass time. So I think that's another reason why every single headline seems to sweep Bitcoin in one direction, seems to sweep altcoins in one direction. Every single headline. It's because we don't have a lot of the same retail positioned and in this market. And we've been in a bad, compared to where we were in 2020, 2021, we've been in kind of a risk-off environment. They're not printing as much, obviously, right? So nothing's really changed. That's first big thing. Now, we do have some things happening in the stock market that I think are interesting, that are worth noting. You guys know we talk about a lot of things, crypto and stocks on the show because it all kind of filters in. I think everything's becoming one big market. Just look at tokenized stocks and, everything, all these platforms are becoming one-stop shop. So we got to look at all this stuff. The most violent selling we're getting right now is in the semiconductor and the AI trade. And that's kind of been happening for a while. And then we just got a big kick in the ass here recently. South Korea's stock market dropped, I think, like 10% overnight. And Samsung, SK Hynix fell double digits. These are big names, obviously, in the memory trade. And so that weakness, because these are such big names, it spreads into the U.S. semiconductor names and then the U.S. AI trade, including the likes of NVIDIA and Micron, which I highlighted in my video already out today. They were down 4 or 5% overnight. Those are big drops for big names like that, big market caps. And so there's a lot of concerns that have, again, a lot of the traders taking a risk-off approach because this market is so much driven by the trading community. It just is. So there's also some concerns with, Chinese semiconductor competition. And so, this is out of Reuters put an article out. Let me pull it up, actually, and I'll kind of point to it. This came out late last night. Let's see here. And they basically said that there's concerns include rising Chinese semiconductor competition, the cost of the AI infrastructure build-out, and whether parts of the AI trade had simply moved too far too quickly or too fast too quickly in terms of the charts. This is important because semiconductors and AI-related companies have become some of the largest and most crowded positions in the global market. And we know just how much of a boost it's given the S&P 500. I mean, without the AI trade, the S&P 500 has been muted for a while. So you get sell-offs and deleveraging across a lot of different things that aren't necessarily in a bad spot, but they're getting hit. They're getting hit with blows just because of the news related to Chinese semiconductor competition and just the AI trade unwinding a little bit. I've said this before, and I mean, I do not think it's like over for the AI trade. I don't even think it's close. But I mean, guys, when you see names that are up 1,000%, like you're going to get corrections. You're going to get pullbacks. It's normal, right? And you got a lot of people on margin. You got a lot of people on leverage. So you're going to have both profit taking, people de-risking, and it's like a domino effect. And so I say all that to say, listen, the AI trade and where things are heading, I think it's still set up for a phenomenal move. We've talked about robo strategy quite a bit. That thing's got beaten down pretty good. I've been adding there. I've been adding to some of my high conviction names, and I'm talking about conviction names for like the next 5 to 10 years. I don't care what happens in the next 5 to 10 minutes, right? Or next 5 to 10 days. That's for full-time traders. Like if I'm in a trade, I do, but in terms of my long-term investing thesis, like I can't treat it like a trader. I have to treat it like an investor. And so I think there's a lot of great opportunities out there, both in crypto and in stocks right now if you're thinking in the long term. I kind of dabble in both areas. Like if I've got trades on right now, yeah, I'd be getting out of my positions. I would not want any trades on right now until the dust settles with the Fed tomorrow. And that's exactly what's happened. A lot of people had longs on. Everybody thought Bitcoin was going to go up to 67K, right? Like that was literally what everybody was saying, I was gone for 2 weeks, but I was still kind of paying attention to what the sentiment was and what everybody's doing. And I took a couple short-term positions like here and there on, there was one on Kaito, Kaito, made a little trade there. So that was nice. Venice as well, VVV, and got out of those positions though, and de-risked just like everybody else is doing. But everybody expected Bitcoin to get to 67K, and they're like, oh, we're in a nice little uptrend, we're in a nice little rally. You had a bunch of people longing the market, and then you get swiped. You get your feet swept out from underneath you, and you get either forced liquidated or you cut your position. And that's what's happening. And so we'll take a look at some of the other broader markets too and kind of what's going on. But I think the central issue right now, like just in this quick snapshot of time and what's causing this, causing us the most panic right now is definitely the Federal Reserve. And what's happening there. So last time they met, that was Warsh's first meeting, right? And they kept their target range, like on inflation, the same. But now there's like so much more geopolitical risk, and it's definitely complicated some things. And then Citadel had to go put out that article that, hey, they think there's going to be a surprise rate hike. And I think that, really added fuel to the fire. So speaking of Citadel, so here's kind of more of the specifics there. So Citadel's made one of the more hawkish calls in the market. Firm argued that the Fed's next move is most likely a rate hike and that it could happen relatively soon. Its reasoning included a strong labor market, limited labor supply, elevated energy costs, significant AI-related capital investment, the possibility of wage pressure, and the risk that inflation remains more persistent than expected. Citadel warned that political responses to AI-related job disruption, energy consumption, and inflation could tighten financial conditions or reduce enthusiasm around the AI trade. That does not mean Citadel knows that a hike is definitely happening, obviously, but that's what they put out there. But they are influential, and people listen to what they say, especially the algorithms and the TradFi guys, right? So you can kind of see how this could create a cascade effect across the market. So Bitcoin has fallen to 62.7 right now, down 4+%. By the way, so we're falling right now. I still got my automatic buy-in at 55. We haven't touched it yet, so I'm ready. I'm ready to buy as soon as Bitcoin breaks down below 60. I would buy more right here, but I'm pretty well positioned already. I've been buying in the 60s quite a bit, and twice underneath 60 back in February and then again in June. So I'm kind of just waiting to see if my automatic buys hit. I'm looking at some other assets like Solana getting pummeled down here to 72. That's pretty enticing. XRP down to 104. It's been holding that dollar line quite heavily. It kind of reminds me of when it was holding that 50-cent line for a while last bear market. But that's kind of intriguing. Let's see, Hyperliquid down to 54. I think we bounced off of this pretty around this level pretty hard not too long ago. So I like that. Zcash down to 459. These are some of the names I like, coming down in these big pullbacks. BitTensor Tau down to 185. Some of the large caps. Ondo sitting still at 39 cents. Before all this shit hit the fan, Ondo Perps had some really good news too. I think they're still a sleeper. I know that price action has been brutal, but I still like them coming out of all of this. Canton's down under 12 cents. CC. That thing's been quiet for a while. But, I think one thing it's tough to do right now is try to trade every headline. I mean, it's just brutal because once you feel like you got it figured out with one headline, it's like another one comes out. I think the best thing to do right now, if you're a trader, even if you're an investor, maybe wait until the Fed meets tomorrow and just kind of see. And then if you can catch a wave from that, then that could be a play. But I'm going to be patient mostly today and just kind of watch. If I do anything, I'd probably just buy some Bitcoin spot or maybe buy some more Robo strategy or a couple of the other AI names that have gotten pummeled pretty good. Let's see here. I'm going to open up my portfolio on the equity side. Let me see what's intriguing here. So Robinhood's down to 90. Iron's getting down to an interesting level too. Iron's been brutally battered down, almost down. It's down 27% last 3 months. Year to date, down 14%. But if you look back on the Iron chart, back on March 30th, late March, it came down to 31. Right around this range. It happened back in December 2025, low 30s, and then late March, low 30s. And we're back down there again. Last time it bottomed out around like $31 in late March. It went from 31 to $70 in 2 months. It more than doubled. So that's a name that I think is interesting right now. And if you look at the hedge funds, they're buying this dip pretty aggressively right now on some of these names, including Iron. So is retail. So that's one I like. I might add more to that position. I think my average cost is like $38, so I'm underwater right now, but still like it long term. Another name that I like that's getting beat down pretty good right now is Cypher in that same bucket. Cypher's down 12% right now, down to $19. That's another one. If you look at where they came down in mid-July, they came all the way down to like 17 and some change, and then ripped back up to like 26. Like if we get a Fed pause tomorrow and like that kind of dust settles a little bit, like don't be surprised if we get a quick reversal. And at any moment, Trump could freaking drop something out there to pump the markets back up. So it's a weird time. It's a weird time in the market because it's a balancing act. Like you want to be positioned, but you also don't want to be, fully positioned also you don't want to be fully sidelined. So it's like this balancing act of like holding some cash, being in your high conviction names, taking a trade here and there if you can. Robo strategy down 8% today, down under $24. Circle stock also getting very interesting. I actually bought some Circle yesterday, and it filled this morning actually because I bought it last night. So I actually just picked some up around $62. So Circle had some big news come out. They essentially acquired a bunch of patents. I don't know if you guys saw this. This was pretty big, and it kind of got like buried in some of the news. It came out yesterday. Circle's acquired fundamental assets from the IBM blockchain patent portfolio, including 680 plus patent families and nearly 1,000 issued patents worldwide. The acquisition makes Circle the leading U.S. blockchain patent holder and strengthens the foundation behind USDC, CPN, ARC, and on-chain financial infrastructure. That is really, really good for Circle and the long-term growth potential there in terms of like what's going on with tokenization. I'm excited about Circle stock. That stock has been down and out for a while. It's down 33% the last 3 months, but this is when you want to buy this stuff. It's down 69% in the last year. It got down to $57 is where it bottomed in February. Might even have been a little bit lower than that. Let me see. 52-week low is $49.90. So it got down to like $50. But it's getting close to where it bottomed. And then from that $50, it ripped up to 126 back in March 20th. It peaked back out. So I'm liking that at these price levels. I'm starting to really like that down at those levels. So I bought a little bit of Circle. I think that's an interesting crypto play on the stock side that not a lot of people maybe are talking about. SpaceX is plummeting. I'm still being patient there. But man, thank God I didn't go heavy into that. I think a lot of people here were kind of similar. Probably didn't. If you traded it the first couple days, you did okay, right? You did okay if you were in and out. But man, if you bought a bunch and just held it spot, hopefully you're DCAing now, man. That thing has been battered. Down 31% last month, just in the last 30 days. 52-week high is 225. It's down to 107. But eventually that's going to become, I think, a really good buy, in my opinion, too. I think that's going to be a really good buy. You just got to be patient. I think you could start to maybe DCA at it a little bit, personally, but let me see here. What else do we got? BMNR is down significantly, down 16 plus, or down to 1650, down 8%. MicroStrategy too. MicroStrategy's down another 5%, down to 94. I still own ASST Strive. I still own MSTR. I still own BMNR. Those are my three DATs that I own. So I still like those. Let's see. Anything else jumping out at me here? Let's see. I've been looking at Open Door for a while. Open Door got hit pretty good, down under $4. I'm going to start maybe DCAing there as well. That's another one I like. I think their earnings are coming up here very, very soon. It's a very volatile stock. Year to date, it's down 37%. But I like that name long term. Let's see. Tell you what's really held up well is Apple. Apple's really held up well amid all of this, and I think you're starting to see some of that rotation of the high beta, risky names go back into the hyperscalers, go back into the S&P just to get out of some of the risk. But I mean, even Micron. Look at Micron right now. I mean, it's almost down to $800, down 24% the last month. So that's another one. I'm looking at potentially. I think we could still see some further downside, but if you started a DCA on Micron here and you're holding that thing for the next 5 years, I think you're going to be fine. I mean, hell, you're getting a nice discount. 52-week high on Micron is over 1,200, 1,250, 1,255. You're getting it at 800, 807. So these names are already starting to become, I think, appealing if you miss the first big run up. But let's get into it, man. Let's get some people up here. I got a lot of other things I can jump into, but I need to hear some other voices, man. I'm going to invite some people up. Make sure you guys share the room, share the space, all that great stuff. We got a bunch of people with us live, too, on YouTube X. Let me, as I pull some people up, Paige, feel free to jump in. I'm going to hit some comments here on the live stream side here as well. Paige, what do you got, man? What's going on? How is Japan? I can't hear you, bro. You sound like you're underwater.
I'm underwater?
That's better.
See, if I'm not loud, then no one can hear me. And now a motorcycle, of course, is driving by my house. Dude, dude, I talked to a real estate agent out there. I'm going to Japan, guys. It's over. Zach, it's over. I'm going to Japan. Morocco, I've had it. I'm going to Japan. But
make sure you do your research there. But yeah.
Oh, I've done a lot of it. I will say this though. Japan, I think they're going to lead the charge in the digital asset space, man. Just the whole SBI thing, and we can get into that later, but the whole SBI thing and all their stuff they're doing with, the Japanese government and all the programs and everything they're building, and all the tech they're doing in Web3 and in blockchain is very, very crazy that a bank is the people actually spearheading this. You know what I'm saying? Like a legitimate, regulated Japanese bank is like, okay, we're doing all this for blockchain and this is how we're doing it. So it's very interesting on that front. I will say, you mentioned Ondo. Guys, if you haven't checked out already, please go watch the Ondo. Not right this second, obviously, but later watch the Ondo interview I did with Min and Ling, the global development director for Ondo Finance. So shout out to him for sitting down with me. And also Debbie Soon of Stripe/Privy. So those two interviews, got a little alpha from both of those guys. And there's a few more interviews that are coming out from Japan. Just bear with me because I got to edit everything. But other than that, Zach, I don't got too much. I mean, if people are panicking now, why weren't you panicking at 55K or 50K? You know what I'm saying? This is when you're gonna panic. It's I don't know what to tell you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things, when Bitcoin was falling, you still had the AI trade that was really strong. Now you're getting, sell-offs in the chip names and the memory names, and I think that's creating a little bit more of uncertainty and adding a little fuel to the fire. And then the whole Fed stuff now, and oh my gosh, are they gonna do a rate hike? That sort of thing. So I get it. But I mean, in the same breath, it's kind of what we've been saying for a long time. Still maintain a pretty strong cash position, avoid excessive leverage. Obviously, I mean, there's certain people who can do that, and there's certain people who can't. Just know who you are as an investor, and reduce your exposure to weak assets. Don't be heavily concentrated in weak assets. Just make them trades here and there. If you can flip them, great. But don't sit in these very, very weak assets and low liquidity assets. And when you get these big pullbacks, focus on your highest conviction names in your portfolio, things that you want to continue to add, big positions to, and And I think, if anything, sometimes doing nothing is better than doing something. In a day like today, like doing nothing, it could be okay. Allow the whole Fed meeting to happen. Let's get some more information on that, and then we kind of pick up where the, whatever the pieces are, and we keep it moving. But I think the whole Clarity Act has people up in arms too, because it just looked like it was, getting better. And then all of a sudden now, it's coming out that, this whole August 7th deadline looks like it's going to go and pass us. We'll see. I mean, but it doesn't mean that it's the end of the Clarity Act, guys. Like, if the Clarity Act takes till whatever, early 2027, it is what it is. Like, what are you going to do? There's nothing really you can do other than just play the hand you're dealt as an investor, and that's fine. We can still make moves. As I mentioned, there's a lot of stuff on sale right now. There's a lot of opportunity. And eventually when this thing turns, if you position yourself and prepared yourself, you're going to be fine. You're going to be perfectly fine. So, there's definitely some repricing going on right now with like the Microns and the SK Hynix and the Samsungs and the SanDisks. I mean, but guys, there has to be. You can't go up like that forever. Like, I mean, it was just absurdity, but at the same time, it offers some new buyers an opportunity, right? It offers some new people some opportunities to get in at some of these nice prices. And so I think, robotics is continuing to be a big theme of mine. I think the physical AI trade is kind of next up once we get, back onto a risk-on environment. I think, sure, the memory names are going to be great. The semiconductor names are going to be great. All the stuff tied in there, like, you go network testing, there's names. You go memory, there's names. Data centers, but I think robotics and physical AI, if you're looking for another sector, another piece of it all, that's where we're going to go next, as we've been talking about. Robo strategy, man, is getting down to closer and closer to 52-week lows under $20. So, I mean, to me, that's a phenomenal opportunity. I really like that one. Very, very bullish on robotics and where we're heading next with humanoid robots and how it's going to change various industries dramatically. So, yeah, it is what it is. But at the same time, we're seeing some early signs of people coming back into crypto too, with the whole Robinhood chain and what we just witnessed there. Now, it's been tough over there. I mean, I think a lot of people are getting wrecked. I mean, I'm just going to call a spade a spade. A lot of people are getting wrecked on Robinhood chain because they're staying in these things too long. And there's just, but there's stuff going every single day from, 500K to 7 mil, so the opportunity's there if you want to go play in those fields. But you just got to know you can't like close your phone for 2 days and come back and feel like, it's going to be all okay. Like, but I think it's an early sign that we're closer to the bottom than many people realize. Everybody's saying October. I don't know if it'll be October. The chances of it actually lining up like that, what everybody's saying, is probably pretty low. So is it going to be September? Is it going to be November? I don't know. But I want to be ready. I want to be positioned. I feel really good about my Bitcoin position. I've really played my cards well on the Bitcoin side of things. And on the altcoin side, obviously there's more risk there, but I feel like I'm really well positioned there too. I'm really more focused on the top heavy names. I'm leaving some cash to play, with the meme coins and all that stuff. I put a little bit over in the Robinhood wallet, taking some plays here and there, but like nothing crazy. Whereas like past cycles, I feel like I was just, what's the word? Like, over diversified. Like I had too many things in too many buckets, too much capital in too many buckets spread out. I was spread too thin. Where now I'm like really concentrated, and I feel like that's just a better way to build a portfolio is a more concentrated one. If you're in a couple really high conviction concentrated names, and you can sleep well holding those names, it's a really good feeling compared to like taking these $100, $200, $300, smaller bets across all these different things. So that's something I've just kind of learned and grown from like my previous experiences, from 6 years ago, whatever. But yeah, man, I think we're gonna be just fine. I think once the dust settles tomorrow, whatever happens, that's behind us. I'm still looking out to Q4 at some point. I don't know if it's gonna be, whatever, October, November. That's where I think things are gonna get much better, and I think we're starting to see the early signs of it. So I'm excited. I'm excited with where we are, and I'm ready, man. I think if you're not paying attention and not preparing now, like you're not going to be able to take your profits when it comes to. That's another thing. Like you got to have all your shit set out. Like I was on a 7-hour plane ride yesterday, right? And like one of the things I did for like 3 hours, I just literally brain dumped in my notebook like all the things I own and like what are my plans? Why am I holding these? What do I want to do with these? Once this thing, turns into a 7x, what am I going to do with those profits? And I just started making like a web of ideas and just putting it out there on paper, like, you know what I mean? Getting it out of my brain and like thinking about what I want to do to really, really dominate this back half of this decade, how I want to do it, And so it's not going to go perfectly as planned. It never will, right? But you got to have a plan. You got to have some kind of strategy. And so, a lot of my profits are going to go back into the S&P 500, going to go back into big AI names, going to go back into robotics, on some of my smaller cap stuff. I'll tell you guys that. Like those are my more like longer term high conviction, I think that's a good way to think about it. Like if you're in these risky names, okay, what's your plan with that risky asset? And then where are you going to put those gains? Where are you going to put those gains when they come? Because I think a lot of people struggle with that. Like, oh man, I'm up big on this. Now what? Now what do I do? And maybe it's like even in real life. Like maybe you got plans to buy a new house or whatever it is, right? Like, but think about that and do more than just think about it. Write it all down, man. Lay it all out there. Create a blueprint. It's not going to go perfect, but and do it a lot. Like do it every few weeks, once a month. Because shit changes. Your ideas change. Your investment thesis changes. Especially in crypto. Things are, always changing. So let's see, man. Let's see if we want to get some people up here. Come chop it up, man. Anybody want to come up and speak? Feel free to request the mic, man. Come on up. Payne, anything else happen that was interesting out there?
Well, we talked about it yesterday a bunch. The KuCoin thing, shout out to KuCoin and Tomorrowland, Zach.
Can't hear you, bro. Barely.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's way better. Now? I think you're covering your mic or something.
I don't know what's going on. No, I talked yesterday about KuCoin at Tomorrowland and the way they're onboarding people. Tomorrowland had 500,000 people, and KuCoin had their own I guess for lack of a better word, mascots walking around and having people sign up for stuff and getting their data. So even if they got 10% of that 500,000, that's 50,000 people, And I think they're giving away $100 to 5 or 6 different people for people to sign up. So there's a good chance that a bunch of people did sign up for that. That is the way to onboard the masses. If you're not in Web3, go to an event for host a stage. They had their own stage, and they were people were signing up. I saw them with my own eyes. I actually interviewed a few people from KuCoin who were working for KuCoin on the ground floor. What are you seeing? Are people signing up? And they're yeah, there's a bunch of people. So I'm there you go. That's one way. I mean, that was super interesting. That was this past weekend. But I don't know. There's so much to get into, Zach. We've been going for 2 weeks.
I know. It's
so much. I don't even know where to go.
I know. I almost need some people to come up so I can feed off of it's just my brain's just all over the place. I mean, we could talk about all these exchanges going under. We could talk about the Clarity Act not passing yet. We could talk about the Fed. We could talk about AI stocks. Yeah, you're right, man. There's so much to break down.
There's a lot going on. I see Mar with his hand up. So Mar, the king of Miami, what's going on?
Good morning, Zach.
Mar, what's up,
the new
bro?
picture, man. Just keep that fucking picture, dude. Like, you kept the same PFP for like 6 years, and then you just started changing.
Yeah, I was about to say the same shit.
I'm about to blame.
PFP too much, Zach. It's
I'm
confusing.
about normally when this shit happens and you start changing your PFP, it's a girlfriend thing.
No, we're good, bro.
Hacked.
We're good.
That's what happens. Either there's a girl or you got hacked. So Zach, I keep thinking you're getting hacked. So stop changing the PFP.
No, that's fair.
This one is good. I think this one is good. It's important for you, man, to keep the same PFP. You know.
That's fair. I'll keep this one.
Your identity. You know, I like the original one actually, man, but the first one.
I think you can safely change your PFP in this line of business once a year, Zach.
Fair enough.
You know, I like Pace better than the old one. And I haven't changed mine. Mine is just to remind me how I got destroyed. This NFT cost me, I think it was like close to like $4,000. And now it's worth.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I paid 4 G's for this fucking thing in back in 21, man. You know, and it actually went up, man. It went up. I had a chance to sell it maybe for like $1,000, $2,000 more. You know, it was during the metaverse. You know, when NFTs were popping. But yeah, Zach, hope you had a great trip in Europe, man. Hopefully, me and my wife were actually planning to do one next year for like 2 weeks or 2-3 weeks. You know.
Hell yeah, man. No, it was amazing, bro. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Where are you guys planning on going?
More like Spain, Italy, more towards that part of Europe.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, Portugal, Spain.
Wait, Mar, when are you going?
Next year.
Yeah, I want to get to those spots 50. Too, bro. Yeah, that's perfect, man. Yeah, we hit Dublin. Dublin was cool. It was kind of like commercial a little bit, like in my opinion. But we went to this little town called Howth on the water. Man, that was sick, bro. Amazing seafood. It was like a 25-minute train ride from Dublin over to Howth on the coast, and we did a hike up there, and beautiful cliffs. It's not the Cliffs of Moher, that's on the other side, but it's similar to that. Did a great hike out there, and then in Scotland, man, we did an unbelievable hike. It was brutal. It was about 11 miles, and it was tough. But that was awesome. Edinburgh's got the castle and all of that, so super dope there. Just all the history there, and had a great time in Edinburgh.
You have a bunch of whiskey, Zach.
Oh, we did the Jameson tour, we did the Guinness tour, did both those in Dublin. We did not do the Johnny Walker experience in Edinburgh, but yeah, had some good scotch in Edinburgh. I don't think I'm drinking the rest of 2026, man. I think I got my fill.
Did you take a lot? Did you take a lot of trains or not?
A lot, man. Yeah, a lot.
Yeah,
and
that's what I love. Yeah.
Then we went to London. We actually took a train from London for a day over to Oxford. I love Oxford, man. London to me is like the New York of England. It's just too crazy.
London's awful, dude.
But I'll tell you what, Oxford, people just think it's like the university. It's not, man. It's a lot more. It's a really cool, like, small town feel. Great food, like great little shops and markets, and so we had a blast in Oxford, and then sealed the deal with Amsterdam, man. Amsterdam's just, if you go to Amsterdam, get a boathouse, and it's awesome, man. You just sit on your deck of your boathouse and watch all the tourist boats go by and drink your coffee or whatever, and yeah, man. So Amsterdam was dope.
She wants to do Portugal, Spain, and then like Italy and anything more, interested. Also Greece,
Yeah, Portugal. I like Portugal and Spain a lot. I've been to both of those countries at least 5 times, 6 times. I like. My mom likes Portugal more than Spain. I like Spain a little more, I guess. But they're both great, Mar. They're both great. I got a lot of friends. So if you need something, let me know.
Yeah, we want to do the trains, and then if anything, we'll take a flight. If it's too much of a long train to, if we want to get out of the way, maybe go to Germany. We'll probably take a flight.
Yeah, it depends on where you're going from Spain to Portugal. Because Spain's actually kind of big. France is probably the biggest country over there, I believe. Someone fact check me. I think it's France, Spain, or something like that. But from like Porto and Portugal to like Barcelona, it's kind of far.
So how we did it more, we obviously took a train, or we took a flight over to Dublin. They got a lot of direct flights now through Aer Lingus right into Dublin. We got in there, and then we took a short Ryanair flight from Dublin to Edinburgh. But then we did train from Edinburgh to London. That was pretty dope, and went through the whole the hillside and countryside of England and all of that. And then we did the Eurostar train that goes underneath the channel, underneath the water. And so that was from London to Amsterdam, and we stopped in Brussels. You actually go through northern France, and then you stop in Brussels. So we stopped in Brussels for a bit, and then over to Amsterdam from there.
Brussels was awful for me because I was in Brussels. That place is gross.
Bro, their train station, one of the craziest experiences. We almost missed our train to Amsterdam. Literally, they told us 7 different things in terms of it was bad. It was a shit show.
Dude, Brussels is awful, Zach. Dude, so I was staying.
It looked dirty too, man, from what I could tell.
Dude, Brussels,
pretty
so
rough.
Whenever I go somewhere and I have a problem, I immediately just go to Google ChatGPT. Like, why is this a problem in this country? And there is trash everywhere in Brussels.
Yeah.
Tomorrowland is like the festival itself is like 10 miles out north. So
they were all going to Tomorrowland, dude. So many people on the train were all going to this festival.
Yeah. Zach. Dude, I have pictures. I'll show you pictures.
Wild.
But, dude, you walk down Brussels, there's trash everywhere, and it smells like piss. And I'm like, Google, what is going on here? And it's like, oh, there's a lack of public bathrooms, and there's also the way they do trash there is they just put the trash on the street and they collect it. So they just have bags of trash everywhere.
And then birds just get into all that shit.
Oh, dude, it's awful.
It happens in Amsterdam, too.
And I'm not in like a bad area. I'm staying in a decent area, and I'm like, this is disgusting. I'm never going back. Outside of Tomorrowland, I'll never go back.
Have you been to Amsterdam?
No, I need to go though.
Yeah, you definitely. But they have an issue with that too. They put out their trash, and all the freaking seagulls get into all the trash. I'm like, guys, just get cans. Put them in cans.
Yeah,
like, what are we doing?
I'm about to post pictures. I couldn't believe it. Cause I'm like, oh, you hear about these places, because I travel a lot. It's like, oh, you hear about this place, it should be cool, and then there's trash everywhere. I'm like, dude, what is going on?
Yeah. But you definitely got to do Amsterdam, man. It's there's nothing like it. Get a little boathouse and like just the canals, and it's super cool. It's super cool. We did the Amsterdam dungeons, which is kind of wild too. It's like a pretty cool tour.
Zach, that sounds freaky as hell, bro.
It definitely is. But it's interesting, man. It's like kind of it's informative, but like kind of like a haunted house experience at the same time. It's interesting. It was cool. It's actually pretty dope, but
yeah, man, Europe's cool, Zach. I've been telling you that for a while. Europe's cool, man.
It's nice how you can get around so easily.
Oh, dude,
that is nice. But you just realize how big the United States is, bro.
Well, but also America needs a high-speed rail.
We just went right from cars to airplanes and said, "Fuck all that."
Enough is enough, bro. You go to Japan, high-speed rails. Fucking Morocco, high-speed rails. You go to Europe, high-speed rails. I go to America, I got the slowest train.
Check this out. So check this out, Pate. They built Brightline here in Florida, which it takes you from Miami to Orlando, which is 3.5 hours. It takes like 3 hours in the train. So that's pretty fast compared to the old train. Beautiful station in downtown. It also takes you like to West Palm Beach, major cities before Orlando. The shit's already going bankrupt.
Nobody takes it.
And there's like they give you packages, monthly passes, drinks. I mean, it's cool as hell. Nobody takes it, man. This is a fucking driving country, man. I mean, unless it's fucking like New York, around the subway of certain cities.
But I mean, Mark, it's also
driving.
It's also because there's no like
sightseeing
interstate connection, like high-speed rails. Like there are trains, yes, but they're not fast, dude.
Yeah, but that's really not. I don't know if there's even in the U.S. there's nice sightseeing. I don't know unless you make it to the Grand Canyon or Denver and shit like that. It's really not that much to see, man. Like
No, but Mar, it's not about necessarily seeing shit. It's more so about, instead of me having to take a flight or driving myself, I just want to take a train that goes, like 150, 200 miles per hour, whatever it is, and get me from, I don't know, fucking Pennsylvania to Maryland in like an hour or so. There's nothing like that. They're slow.
Yeah. No. They don't care. And the funny thing is, didn't we? Well, I don't know. This would probably be stupid, but who started the railroad business?
America.
America, right? America.
America. The railroads to the west, man. They use a lot of slave labor and Chinese labor, but America innovated the railroads, and they just fucking fell off completely.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, because they realized there's more money in cars with the oil.
Yeah.
Produce oil. Yeah.
Then the damn Wright brothers invented that thing with wings, and it was like, oh shit. But Mar, what are you seeing in the markets, bro? It's crazy right now.
Dude, I don't know how crazy it is because it's just boring, man. We got Bitcoin between 63, 65K for a few weeks already. It's it's part of the bear market. I know that many people are calling. The one thing that might trick us is due to the fact that altcoins have done so horrible since 2021, because people are like, oh, look at Solana. Yeah, Solana went to $200 something. Solana looked good in this cycle because it was so bad in the last cycle when it went down to $9, But if Sol would have stayed maybe at $40-$50, it would have done also a 3x, if anything. So a lot of these things, Zach, a lot of these altcoins, something that we don't talk about because a lot of people are just bad at math and they don't understand it. I'm still fighting with people why they shouldn't dilute you in a project, and they don't understand. But we're getting no, I'm not gonna go there, but we're getting the same value.
Yesterday, Mark.
Yeah, we're getting the same value, and they don't understand. Zach, you go explain it to them. I even explained it to them with a total a max supply of 1,000, making the math easy, and they don't understand. And believe it or not, Zach, a lot of these altcoins would have gone higher prices during this last altcoin bull run, which was in 23 and 24, if it wasn't for the massive supply that has grown. Like even XRP, man, XRP would have been like at $6, I think, if they would have had like at least close to the supply they had a few years back. Solana, all these coins, and the thing is that they're not able to hold the price with the new coins coming in our circulation. You understand? So a lot of these altcoin prices would have been way higher if it wasn't for the circulation and all the unlocks and stuff like that. So this is something that people, when you invest in a new project, you have to understand that, you got like 1 billion max supply, but these things are launching with like, I don't know, 100 million coins in circulation. You got to understand the next 900 million are going to be unlocked in the next 7-10 years. So it's got to fight inflation. These tokens are fighting inflation, and there's not enough liquidity coming in to fight the inflation of the unlocks. So this is why we saw lower prices on coins, and this is why you see, wait, but the market cap is higher than last time, but the price is lower. That's because it's not fighting inflation very well. There's not enough liquidity coming in. So I think that getting to the point is we had such a bad bear market and altcoins perform so bad that we are in a bear market, man. But maybe Bitcoin is not. Maybe Bitcoin is more in a correction. But I'll tell you what, I see it. If the Clarity Act doesn't pass, I see altcoins performing so bad that Bitcoin could go on a bull market. Let's say that they are right. Let's say that Mike Alfred is right, and Bitcoin is in a correction, right? I could see Bitcoin going to like 160. It hit 126. Let's say this is the double top now. 140, 150, 160 this year or early next year, whatever it is. I could still see Bitcoin perform, altcoins performing like shit, especially if the Clarity Act doesn't pass. Because for me, that is it. I mean, I've done my homework on that shit, and it's not so much reading like Mutasco, but more, the meaning of it and the psychology behind it, and that is the door to get in for people to go in on chain stable coins, because people are greedy. They're gonna get the stable coins. They're gonna buy if they could still get a nice, APY yearly, But if they get the stable coins, that's already a foot in, and like, let me buy this with stable coins. And regulations and laws, man, is what I said. I don't know if before you left to Europe you heard this, but you go to Robinhood, man, and you get 5% yearly APY back in cash, 7% in stable coins. But in stable coins, it has no insurance, nothing to back up if anything happens. So people are like, fuck that, I'm staying with my cash in there. So I am truly super bullish on the Clarity Act. I think that is our next huge step into bringing in the massive. I also saw a tweet of David Goldstein today or yesterday. He tweeted there's $16 trillion part ready to come into the markets, especially crypto. I don't know if he was trolling. I trolled back at him. I told him, all I want is 10 million. That's 0.00006% of those $16 trillion. But yeah, man, if that is true, I mean, I'll take 1 trillion.
If that's true, like, I wonder, like, all right, what are they waiting to come into? Like, because they've already been given the Bitcoin door. Like, are they waiting to come into Ethereum, Solana, XRP, like Hyperliquid? Like, what are they waiting to come into? You know what I mean?
Zach, I think it's the Clarity Act, man. I think I've been doing, I've been talking to people, and even people outside of that are not in crypto. They want the laws, man. Before they move into the town, they want to make sure there's laws, there's a sheriff, and you are protected. And that's the Clarity Act when it comes to crypto. I know some of us hate it. Some of us are not getting what we wanted to get in there, but whatever. This is gonna bring the next wave of people. And it might be people coming into meme coins. I don't think it's going to be meme coins, because a gambler is going to gamble. They don't care about the laws. He's a gambler. You still want to be protected when you're in the casino, But I think this is what's going to bring the massive. Look, there's a project that me and Pete talked about, that I talked about, and which is one of those. They said like a yes and no. Where you bet if yes, the fucking team is gonna win. No, simple shit, yes and no. And the app cannot be used here in the US. You need a VPN because it's being paid by stable coins. And they're waiting for the Clarity Act. They're waiting for the Clarity Act because that's gonna give them the opportunity for the app, not so you don't need to use a VPN. So I think the Clarity Act is fucking huge, man. It's beyond bigger than I ever thought. Because I never studied it real good, but that is the next big thing. The question is, how bad are we going to dump if it doesn't pass? By the end of the summer,
dump Discovery,
and that's where we could go to dump Discovery, and we could start buying even cheaper altcoins. I don't think Bitcoin is going to hurt that hard. It's going to be hit that hard. I think ETH and a few projects or stocks from Circle could get hit hard if they delay this shit to next year. But I still think it's gonna pass, man. I still think it's gonna pass this year.
No, I'm with you, man. I think the Clarity Act for sure has way more of an impact on altcoins than Bitcoin. I mean, because Bitcoin has had clarity, man. Like, we've talked about this. Bitcoin's had clarity even with Gary Gensler and all that. I mean, it was deemed a commodity way back then. It was taxed as property. And So I mean, will Bitcoin get a boost? Yeah, there are certain things, in there. Obviously, I think just the overall sentiment, sure. But I'm most interested, like, if we all agree that okay, the Clarity Act is gonna be very impactful to altcoins. All right, now the question is which altcoins? Which altcoins are the institutions waiting to get into? Which altcoins are they sitting there saying, man, once this Clarity Act passes, we're getting a big position in insert here? Is it Ethereum? Is it Solana? Is it XRP? Are we going to get like a basket ETF with the 10 names they like and they're going to pump that? Like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
I really
That's where the speculation comes in.
When it comes to tokenomics, I really like Kaspa. Very similar to Bitcoin. I think that if Kaspa could do things right, and I've been buying Kaspa, by the way, under 3 cents. I think that Kaspa could do something special with those, Because, man, your coin starts doing good and then unlocks. It's just fighting inflation.
Yeah. I like Kaspa too still. I hold a good amount of Kaspa, bro. I mean, I caught it on the run up, the first one, from like 4 cents to 20. And then won the trade. I didn't get out right at 20. I don't know, it was 18 or whatever. But I'm still holding it too, man.
Yeah. I mean, 95% of the coins are in circulation already.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad, like it's similar to Bitcoin, It's very similar to Bitcoin. But like Monad, Monad still has like 95% of the coins to be unlocked. That's insane. That's going to be fighting inflation for the next 200,000 years, Like, it's just too much. This is something that people don't look at, man. They either want to be blinded or they're not good at math. And if you're investing, especially in crypto, you gotta do it's simple math. It's not even algebra. I didn't even make it through algebra. When I started seeing letters, I was like, that's it, I'm done with this shit. When I'm like, letters in math, what the fuck? Like, I'm done. But I do my homework, I do my homework on it. And it's just something that I think altcoins have struggled with, fighting the inflation of the unlocks, and not enough liquidity coming in to maintain that stability of the price,
That's a good point. That's a really good point, bro. And then you couple all that with, the AI trade, and I think people, especially with big money, I mean, shit. Look at some of these names that have just went crazy. I mean, I'll tell you another one that's getting down. I mean, SanDisk is getting down to like where most of the analysts have like their fair value price. This thing was trading over $2,500, or no, 2,400. It's getting down almost close to 1,000 right now. Like, I'm starting to look at some of these AI names, and I kind of want to play the reversal on some of these big names. I might even start to look to maybe take some call positions out for like a little while. Some long calls on, like, I'm looking at SanDisk and Micron and what's the other one? Hynix, SK Hynix. That thing's getting pummeled. I'm starting to like some of these names, man. What's your take on the stock side, Mar? Are you making any moves?
Yeah. Well, I told you about Robert strategy at 20, right on the 26. I did buy some again right when it dipped to under 24 again the other day. So I'll be DCAing on Robert strategy. I bought more Robinhood, under how do you call this, $100 yesterday. Nothing big. I'm looking at iron. I know that you have a short on iron, right?
No. That's I know that guy you're talking about who does, though, who had a good one on Ghosty.
Oh, okay. And
no, I just own it spot, bro. I just own it spot. Yeah. My average cost is like $38 right now, and so I'm looking at maybe adding some there. I mean, that thing was just traded at 70.
Yeah, I'm looking at iron, but also because I might get out of my position, take that money and put it more into Robinhood and maybe DCA more into Robert strategy on Rolls Royce. I've been holding that position for a long ass time, for like over 2 years, man.
Damn.
But yeah, man, I'm moving a little bit more back to altcoins now. You know, I do like how ETH is holding up here. This, is holding on strong. But maybe I fucked up and I should have probably bought more ETH at 1,500, 1,600. But it is what it is. No regrets. But yeah, man, I like how ETH is holding off to this price of $1,800-$1,900 the last few weeks. But with going back to TriFi, yeah, we're looking at that, and not much, man, not much. It's also scary, Zach, man, when you look at the stock market, man, it's been on a bull run for like what, fucking 15 years already. When is it really gonna take a big hit, So yeah, but other than that, robo strategy, man, I like the idea. I like the concept of it, that they're not the ones who build the robots for now. You never know, but they invest in companies, and so that means the stock is going to feed from all the companies they invested in if they're successful.
Yeah, and I like that it's just I like that it's early on, and the fact that they can adjust things and move things, man, because this is such an early time to get into robotics, to where like whoever those winners end up being, whoever those leaders end up being, and a lot of these companies are staying private longer and longer, right? Like they can add things to the fund and take things out. So like, who knows? Like right now, like the big gun in that portfolio is Figure AI, but like a year from now, it might be two other leaders, and they can get exposure to that. Like, and these companies are staying private, man, forever. It's look at these big names that are still private. I mean, a lot, and so if you can get exposure to that before, I mean, shit. Imagine being able to get exposure to SpaceX before they IPO'd at fucking trillions. So that's kind of my thing. Like, it's finally a chance where there's like some kind of level playing ground for us.
You want to know how bad crypto is? I told a few friends of mine about robo strategy, and more than one of them came back and said, "Mark, that shit's at a $500 million market cap." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, fucking super early." He goes, "No, man, that shit rammed." Well, bro, that's like fucking 500 million market cap in the stock market is like fucking our $1 million market cap coin.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't know, man. They don't fucking know. They have no idea. They have no fucking idea, dude.
No, you're 100% right, man. Like, dude, yeah, I mean, that's a fun right there. It's a long shot. It's a long-term play. It's all that, right? But like, if you're willing to take the risk, I mean, that's something that you could look up, and that could be 50 billion. I mean, it is what it is, right? Everybody got to take their risk wherever they see it, but I'm going where the next thing I think is happening, and I think that's one of the areas is robotics, man. And it's one of the only ways to invest in early stage. There's some of these big names already like that are big. I mean, sure, you can go invest in Tesla. You can go invest in Teradyne. And I think they'll probably do well. But Teradyne's already a $50 billion market cap. It's already there. And it's up 235% in the last 365 days. So, I'd rather, DCA into robo strategy, play the long game on it, look up and like, because one thing I haven't done yet as an investor, man, is like, be able to be like, I bought Apple before everybody bought Apple, or I bought Tesla before everybody bought Tesla, or I bought Netflix because let's face it, man, like I have a good friend of mine, he was just buying Apple when very few people were buying Apple. He's set for life, bro. He's an engineer. He had no pressure, no problem. Like whatever, get a raise, get it, doesn't matter. Like he's just been buying Apple forever. And I feel like this is an opportunity for that, man. To where like you look up, 10, 12 years from now, I'll be 46 or whatever, and I like that's a chance, that's a chance I'm willing to take, man. To say, yeah, man, that, whatever those three companies that everybody will know in 10 years from now in the robotic, yeah, I was investing in them privately, man, through a fund called Robo Strategy when, yeah, they had no idea what was going on, you know? So that's my play there, man. That's a different type of play than anything else in any of my portfolios, to be honest. At this point, just because like I feel really confident about robotics, and so yeah, we'll see what happens. Who's this Jimmy the Otter?
And I'm actually on a trade.
How's it going? Yeah, I do work in the industry a little bit. I think one of the issues is with robotics. Most of the robotics startups are usually being acquired pretty early on. So it's pretty hard to get exposure to mature robotics companies when they're at maybe 700 million ARR, so forth. For example, even last month, 4 of them were bought. One by Amazon, another one by Tesla, and I think Microsoft bought the third one. Then General Dynamics bought the fourth one. And these types of companies are usually like wheeled, non-humanoid robotics companies, which are doing general practice, general purpose kind of work for warehousing, plumbing, just general things to replace labor, right? And that's mostly because of the data set that they're gathering. They really need the partners to get the data sets, and usually the partners tend to buy them out once they get enough training data in them. It's a pretty interesting relationship. So it's just really hard to see a robotics company because they're really cash heavy, because they're asset heavy compared to asset light companies, which are, some of them are in AI, most of them are not. Since AI is it's tending towards asset heavy right now. Either you need a lot of data centers for compute cost, or you need a lot of training data and therefore a lot of essentially manufacturing capability, which is just super hard. So they'll usually get 1 or 2 customers, and those will be big names, and then one of the big names just buys them out. VC firms are also kind of in this, where they do back early robotics, and then within their portfolio they'll basically resell them to one of the larger portfolio companies, and so it's a little bit tougher on that side.
I hear that, and that's interesting. I mean, but then you look at these two companies, Jimmy, like Anthropic and OpenAI. These things are still private, bro, and they're almost $1 trillion companies.
Oh, they're all private.
So like, if Figure AI holds out, let's just say Figure AI, which is the big one in Robo Strategy right now, right? Like, that's the name everybody watches in that fund right now, is Figure AI. I mean, let's just say they get to 100 billion while they're still private. And Anthropic is valued just under $1 trillion. OpenAI just under 900 billion. Let's just say they hold out 100 billion. What's Robo Strategy look like? If they're holding that stock, you see what I'm saying? Like, they don't need to have like all these companies remain private in order for that fund to go absolutely insane from a $500 million valuation where it is now.
Yeah, I think the issue is, Anthropic, it's kind of topping out. I mean, people say it's not. It is 1 trillion. So if you're buying at a 100 billion valuation, it's slightly different post-money. In contrast, if you're, I would hope, my point here is I would hope that VCs open up secondary to some of these early stage robotics companies. Like, for example, Anduril. I mean, I would have loved to have gotten secondary on Anduril 3 years ago. I actually was pretty desperate to get secondary on Anduril, but it was a lot of paperwork. I had to go through a lot of stuff in order to even inquire to prove my qualified investor credentials. And it just, tax and legal wise, it just didn't make sense. But if I could have bought...
What do they ask you for, man? What are like the main things they ask you for?
Well,
you have a business or
KYC, AML, lots of documentation. I went over it for a weekend. I was rejected because of like just random things that your address doesn't match this and so forth. This is some years ago, guys. This is like some years ago. It's easier now because not a lot of people are trying to go to secondary for something like Andrel. There's more brokers for this now, right? But I mean, that would be a good example. Andrel the valuation wasn't that crazy. It was 30 billion or so. Now it's 150 billion. I think that's what their last raise was. But there's a lot of Andrels out there. I think one thing that people are ignoring is ship tech. Mostly it's robotics, though. UVVs are basically robotics. I mean, they are unmanned underwater vehicles, right? They are essentially robots. And the Navy is desperate to buy as many of them as they can. And there's just a handful of these startups doing it. They are the counterparts of Andrel. And they are doing secondary, which they should be doing because they're not that early. They are mostly mature startups that are behind Andrel when it comes to funding, but ahead of Andrel when it comes to maritime resources.
Johnny, what's up, man? Johnny Bravo. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Zach? I've seen post that you sold off your SPX 6900. Is that true?
No.
Because I saw someone posting because they replied to you and you said you took a loss on it, so I was confused.
No, it might have been a different, could have been a fake account or some shit, but no, I still have some.
Awesome. Holding the line. Good.
It's one of the only memes I own right now. I own some Pepe, I own SPX, and I own some Cash Cat, which that thing's getting wrecked. But
what are your thoughts on the recent ship rally, which kind of ended?
I have no idea, man. Honestly, I don't know what to think about it because nothing's really changed. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Manipulation would probably be my short answer.
Yeah, I heard about like some Korean markets manipulating it.
Yeah,
I haven't seen anything that would.
Like, we're just not there yet, man. We're not there like full on risk where like memes are. You know, we're scratching the surface. People are playing on Robinhood, obviously, right? But it's all the same money, man. It's just the people that were still stuck over on Pump Fund that just came over to Robinhood for a little bit. Like, we don't really have new money yet. Like, that's the big thing on the meme coin side. We just don't have. There's no new money yet. They're playing in prediction markets. They're playing in sports gambling. Dude, the sports gambling thing, I mean, we can get into a whole... It's a big problem. People are spending so much money on these sports betting apps. I was looking into some of the numbers on, like, the World Cup. It was insane what Americans lost.
It's
the amount of money people are losing on these sports, it is crazy.
It's kind of people's only escape hatch these days, sadly.
No, I have to push back on that. Sports betting was always really popular. I think the difference here is...
It was, but not to this extent. Extent.
That's not true. I think the difference is Europe, sports betting, Americans couldn't get into the level of sports betting that Europeans were doing. Now they can. Like, if have you ever heard of the company Ladbrokes? There's
Ladbrokes for horse racing.
There's Ladbrokes in every single block of London.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you talked about degen. People basically hang out around Ladbrokes, because a lot of them have some issues from morning to night, man.
Oh, yeah.
And the difference is that people are just hanging out on their phones doing it in the U.S.
Maybe, I mean, gambling has and always will be around forever.
I don't feel this is gambling, though. I'm against the idea that something like sports betting is fully gambling. Because luck is not really an issue as much.
Well, it's always 50-50, more or less.
If you look, people have done the stats on football, soccer. It's really not 50-50 that teams win or not. It's, I mean, can I ask you do you really think horse track betting is 50-50?
No, because, well, it depends how many horses there are. But there are advantages. Listen, you can skew things in your favor by doing research, but I'm just saying hypothetically it's 50-50. Hypothetically.
What? No, I don't think that number has any scientific basis.
But
like, for example, roulette is based on the numbers, a small advantage to the house, right? There is luck involved. But when it comes to something like soccer, football, if you continuously bet on teams that have very little chance of winning, you will tend to not win.
Yes, it's not completely randomized. I agree. I understand that. It's not completely randomized. There are non-randomized variables like skill set and whatnot. So I understand that. Same with poker.
There's a lot to unpack with that. There's a lot that goes into it. The issue. You can win or whatever. It's just like, do you really win? Like, what? People win, or they'll go on a streak or whatever, but they end up just giving it right back. Like, so it's like, that's the other thing. It's like, very few people are like, knowing what units are when they're betting, right? Like, and understanding how to utilize units in their process. Like, the gap between like professional gamblers and people who aren't perfect, like there's no like middle. It's like you're either losing a shit ton or you're like the 1% that's winning all the money, and like they're doing it very sophisticated. They have a very sophisticated method with units of measurement and like taking small little bits here and there and with big amounts. You know what I mean? That's the other thing. Most people are just rifling $100 in there and let me Venmo another 100, another 100, another 100, another 100. Yeah, they might get it up to 700, then they just bet 700 on the game and lose it, and then put another 100 in there, put another 100. Like, yeah, it's I don't know, man. It's an epidemic, honestly, man. And I mean, it really is. It really is.
It's more accessible.
It's more accessible, but I think there's no doubt, man. Like, that has kind of hindered the gambling on chain on the crypto side. There's no doubt about it. I mean, it's definitely taken people away from that, and just, the other thing is it's easier to kind of manage. It's like, once the bet's in, you just sit on your couch and crack a beer. Like, you don't have to fucking watch a chart.
I think this is really important, though. Online casinos, no one really knows how real they are. They're based in really odd locations. You don't know if the odds are actually realistic. You don't know if it's basically an algorithm is going against you, whenever the algorithm is chosen to be against you. And so people, of course, know this, and they want some edge. This edge is research, logic, thinking, right? And I'm actually super, super, super glad that people are getting away from just playing roulette all day and blackjack online, which I think was just terrible, because those Indian-owned online app casinos or Curacao ones were completely corrupt and were out of basically legal domicile from in any way recouping your money if you found out. So I'm very happy about prediction apps. I think it's one of the greatest inventions in finance.
Perhaps, but I will say, Zach, glad to know you're still in SPX 6900, and put out a tweet because someone is spreading misinformation that you sold it all. So
yeah, man, no, it's a long shot meme coin that I like. I think the community when shit was popping, I liked the feeling of that. It felt like the old SHIB days. So I mean, if there's a big bull run ahead of us, like, those are the type of meme coins I want to be in. But
there's someone with a really strong account pushing, because I also saw a post of, I shorted iron, and I replied back like, what? And
really, bro?
Yeah, dude, and I can't find it now.
We got to report this shit.
I wrote, what, Zach? You're going against Mike Alfred?
You know what I wish we could do is I wish there was a way to, like, where people couldn't replicate your profile picture. This is something they should do on X, because this would cut down the amount of people that could, like, recreate other people's profiles.
Yeah, Zach, I see them right now.
Like, they should make like the profile picture like a certain code or something, like an NFT almost. That's like, where you can click the profile. Oh, that's not him, or whatever.
You have a story. They did try to fix that. Remember this girl, Sheila Ho, who would always be in spaces. It was obviously a bot. One day in a space, we all changed our pictures to Sheila Ho's picture.
Yeah.
all 50 of us, right? Listeners, speakers, hosts, and we all started waving to Sheila Ho. The thing was, Sheila Ho was on 7 spaces at the same time, right?
Oh, I remember that lady. Yeah, I remember that lady.
Yeah. The issue is, it's more of a bot issue than the other issue. They have this power to actually get rid of bots, but for advertising purposes, they know that bots lead engagement, no matter how horrible it is. It actually is bad for organic engagement. And so it's always an economic problem. In my opinion, it's not a technical problem, right? Bots, for whatever reason you may not like them, basically artificially inflate the numbers for X, right? And when you remove bots, you also remove the issue of people taking away your avatars when necessary. In some ways, you could argue bots are good because it actually probably promotes you without you knowing it.
Yeah, it's just an issue. It's just an issue when it's fucking like this.
I mean,
kind of
imagine
shit.
how
Like,
people retweet your posts. How many of them do you think are real?
who knows? Yeah, like who knows?
Exactly.
You'll never get the real data either. Like the real, who knows?
No, no. Oh, I think they know. They just want to keep it secret.
Fair enough. Did you find that account paid?
Yeah, I sent it to you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, I messaged it to you just now.
All right, cool. If you guys could like mass put it up in the net, dude. Mass report that shit. That's fucked up. Let's get that thing taken down.
I don't know how to put it in the nest as a page. If you guys just type in the Zach Humphreys, THE, not DA, THE Zach Humphreys, that's what it is. They even changed it to your new profile picture too.
These cats are on it, man.
They're on it, dude. They're good.
But Jimmy, I want to come back to you. Like we were talking about this robo strategy thing, bro. So like, how are you? All right. So let me ask you this: do you think robotics is next in the AI trade? Physical AI?
I don't.
Really?
I don't know.
How are you positioned in the next 5 to 10 years? What are you doing?
I'm positioned mostly in aerospace. I believe that data centers will go up into space. I think that there's going to be a lot of infrastructure to maintain them. There's going to be a lot of things to. So I'll give you some two points here. Point one, typical 747, right? 30 tons of cargo. Starship Gen 3, right? It's supposed to get to Gen 5 in 2 years. That does 3 times the cargo of a 747. It takes a 747 to fly about 6.5 to 7 hours from Chicago to London. It takes a Starship to fly 30 minutes. You can do 5 Starships for every 747, and that means that the cost of freight per kilo is actually lower on Starship Gen 5, right? So it's going to replace freight, it's going to replace air cargo, it's going to replace cargo ships. It's the thing that about robotics is there's use cases for robotics right now. We're lacking the electrons, the compute and logistics for those systems to actually be successful. Every startup that we talk to, their issue is, I can't get the RAM for this, guys. It's taking me too long. It's going to be on a ship from China. It's going to take them 3 months to dock. And hopefully we can get it off the ship and someone doesn't, resell it before we can get it. Or, the manufacturing facility in Xinjiang or something like that, they're not getting their stuff that they need from, Taiwan fast enough, right? There's so many bottlenecks for everything, right? And it makes everything super expensive, which, may say, of course, get the VC money, get that cheap money in. That's not really the issue. The issue is we're solving things at a basis of electrons and energy, right, and time. Robotics will come at the very end of that. When there's a lot of energy, cheap energy, when there's a lot of logistics, efficiency, there will be a lot of robotic success.
So what are some of the names you like?
Well, in the public world, not many, to be honest. In the private world, there's a couple dozen doing this. Aerospace, there's just a handful, as you know. As I said before, shipping, there's a lot of maritime military startups out there right now. There's a lot of drone ballistics out there right now, hypersonics out there right now. There are a lot of startups right now that are doing things for space data centers, right? But for the public, I'm just, I'm going in where everyone else is going in. I'm buying low margin chip manufacturers, which are sold out for the next 2 years. I'm buying small ones and big ones, DRAM, RAM. If you want to talk about robotics, isn't that essentially the aggregate of robotics? The full input cost compute is compute, right? It's just memory.
So you like DRAM ETF?
Yeah, that's an okay one.
It's on a nice pullback since late June for sure.
Yeah. I don't really know if are you referring to like just public companies that you think will 10x from here?
Just trying to get an idea of like, okay, like, here's your thesis, like what are some options to invest in? So like,
well,
on the private side,
example,
is there a robo strategy? Is there a robo strategy for aerospace? You know what I mean? Is there a
There's
fund?
a couple ETFs for it. There's a couple ETFs for it, but the weird thing about those ETFs is it contains a lot of stuff that's not even aerospace in it. Right?
Yeah.
It's a lot of internet companies, right? Which makes no sense really. So, Toto, for example, I just got into Toto. People say it's just a toilet company. Actually, Toto builds chips inside of toilets and has the most advanced expertise when it comes to ceramics and memory, because obviously it has to go through a lot of rugged environments, and they're basically building chips around ceramics, right? This is absolutely essential. That's one of the reasons why they're going to be a massive partner for a lot of these aerospace companies, because they need basically chips within the ceramics of the rockets, right?
That's what I was looking for. Some interesting plays like that, some ancillary
It's a
pieces.
lot of indirect stuff, because
Gotcha.
the problem is a lot of these companies do stuff and they haven't figured out their use case beyond the shit that they do, right? But then companies are like, well, we're doing this, we really need these other things, and you do that really well. Why don't you just stop doing what you're doing and just do stuff for us instead?
Fair. Like we've seen with just the AI trade. Yeah.
It's toilets for the next 1 year in Japan.
Like
Have you ever used a
BlackBerry,
Toto toilet?
like BlackBerry recently with hey, you guys aren't doing well over. Why don't you just come create use your what is it, QNX technology for and partner with NVIDIA, like basically like that kind of deal on the aerospace side. Is that kind of what you're getting at?
Yeah, there's a lot of indirect relationships. The problem is a lot of these companies have been wasting their time on B2C. B2C is the wedge.
Yeah.
B2C is their wedge. And the wedge is B2B without them realizing what the B2B price point should be for their products. I mean, you have a lot of these companies that are figuring out, I think we could charge Apple like 30% more, Or Toto is currently figuring out, aerospace is going to pay us 10 times more than Japanese people paying for toilets. Because their margins were fucking dreadful. It was like 2%.
Yeah. So you like any of the drone names?
AVAV, are you referring to that drone name? AVAV?
There's so many of them, dude. I got a list of like
Oh God, there's
14 of them.
There's too many, man.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot. I'm not a big fan of most of them, to be honest. It's very competitive out there, and there's a limited number of contracts. Typically what happens is countries do the wrong thing. They, for national security reasons, they do not go out and source stuff from private companies, especially from the US. They tend to be corrupt, build stuff locally, but then end up sourcing most of it on the back end without telling anyone. For example, Saudi Arabia needs tens of billions of dollars of counter drones, for sure. Are they going to work with Anduril? For sure. Are they going to work secretly with Anduril to design this stuff and to procure? And they create like this, Saudi Arabian drone anti-counter whatever company? For sure. And will it look like a Saudi Arabian local success when it occurs? For sure. Will it help AVAV? Probably not for many years. I mean, they're basically going to buy some licensing at most. And God, there's like a dozen other companies that do stuff, right? And you take, for example, there's a South Korean company that builds tanks. The Poles were like, hey, we just want your designs and licensing. We're going to build it locally because, we don't want to look bad buying stuff from South Korea for tanks were Polish. And it's just pretty low margin. It's like it's a pretty tough business, right? And when you refer to those drones, referring mostly to military drones, it's a very tough business. I like freight. I like the idea of space data centers supporting a network of replacing really old-fashioned freight logistics methods. That is a high-margin business. Okay. I mean, take, for example, a cargo ship. Okay, cargo ship, typical cargo ship right now, there's two types. Ones that require help to go through the Suez, and ones that don't. The ones that are super tankers or super cargo ships cost about $1 billion. So fundamentally, they're the dumbest fucking idea in the world. If you want to move cargo from China to Europe, that cargo ship needs, at 2 points in its travels, to offload its cargo because it's so big it sinks to nearly the bed of the canal if it's fully loaded. So a cargo ship should be fully loaded because you want to make money, right? But they can't because they sink too low to the seabed, right? So most of the cargo is then taken off the ship and put onto smaller freighters, right? And that happens at 2 points in its journey. And that's just to China to Europe. Things like Starship replace all of that. And that is the future. There's going to be dozens of companies supporting that effort.
Interesting, man. No, that's really interesting stuff. I like it. I like the way your mind works, man. You got some interesting ideas and interesting takes. I shot you a follow back too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Zach dropped. I wanted to see what Zach was up to. But no, that's interesting, man. Yeah. We'll definitely have to talk more in the back channels too and get into it a little deeper. I see Shogun up here. Shogun, what's up, man? What's going on?
What's going on? How we feeling?
Pretty good, bro. What's happening? What's on your mind?
Just looking at the market, trying to dissect the whole Coinbase move yesterday with allowing Solana tokens on chain straight up. Like, that's basically allowing pump fund to the Coinbase user base. I think that was funny that happened right before Senator Lummis teased the Clarity Bill Act again.
Is that
is it
pumped up fund started pumping yesterday or what?
Well, here's the way I look at it, right? Who else would have insider information on whether that act is going to get passed or not? It's going to be Brian, right? So why would he make such a risk-on move publicly after, people have probably been bugging Coinbase for the longest time? They made several bullish moves towards Solana like 6 months ago and, like a year ago. But this essentially allows anybody from Coinbase to just buy directly through the app. It's probably in competition with Robinhood, but it just was eerily timing with the whole Clarity Bill Act because that was supposed to hit Senate yesterday. Yeah, I just thought it was interesting.
That was in reference to the Circle issuing a bunch of USDC on Solana, right?
I think so, but if you look at the Coinbase tweet yesterday, it just basically says you can now buy all Solana coins on chain, which what does that mean? That just means pump fund, because it's like the second the coin hits chain, you can purchase it, whereas you weren't able to do that before. So now, you know how everybody's chasing that elusive Robinhood listing? So they're saying, okay, well, people are going to be buying tokens on Robinhood. It's, less fees, but the chances of you getting a Robinhood listing because people are trading it on the app is higher. So now you're going to get access to normies. Well, it's the exact same thing on Coinbase, but now they're pushing it forward and saying you can buy all Solana coins as soon as they hit the chain. Now, I want to ask you, is that because he thinks the bill's not getting passed? So he's saying, all right, let's go risk on and let's just enable all of these coins in order to get the volume back to Coinbase, because Robinhood most likely just took a lot of the volume, EVM side. Or do you think he's doing that because he thinks it's getting passed? Because if, in my opinion, if it's not getting passed, he's going to risk on. If it is getting passed, he wouldn't make a move like that if there's going to be a ton of regulations against Solana and Pump Fund. I really don't know. It's 50-50, like, to me. I've talked to people that have given me really good arguments on both sides. But I don't know. It was just funny timing that he did that yesterday. I think it's because he knows what's going to happen with the Clarity Act, but I could be wrong.
Interesting. Anybody have thoughts?
Zach, I think it's a done deal, man. That shit's gonna pass this year.
Does it get done? Does this August 7th deadline mean anything?
I don't know, but I think it's gonna be done this year. Too much money coming in, man. These people are prepping for this shit. I don't know about August, but I think it'll be done this year.
It's gonna get passed before September for sure, but
we bounced for now.
Yeah,
I've been hearing more and more September talk too, Larry.
September's coming in because there has to be liquidity for the bill to make sense so it doesn't fall flat. A lot of the new provisions in the bill don't help us at all, but they don't hurt us either. It's just, who does it make happy? What you should be paying attention to too is the big deals that are being done, like Advent acquiring Stripe and PayPal, and how they're going for round 2 on OUSD and these other stable tokens that are coming out that are not that stable-ish tokens, to be honest. There's no yield. So a lot of the roadmap on the timing for Clarity Act, I think, is impacted by these new class of stable tokens that are very much like, like what's the use case other than for retail and for enterprise? Enterprise, so there's no yields, there's none of the, they need a replacement for savings bonds and all these obsolescent banking products now, right? And they need communitization of transaction resolution for cross-border, right? It's paramount now. That's why there's so much focus in Asia for Africa. I was just on a call for that, pertaining to exactly what I was just talking about. So Clarity Act is going to get passed September, right before primary times, but it has to have all of the, I think they're really waiting out for the banks and the other payment processors to come up with their new voodoo versions of stable tokens, to be honest, Zach. And also some new other classes of commoditized digital paper besides stable tokens. We always talk about mixed basket ETFs. Now we have a new mixed payment stable or mixed basket stable or mixed basket commodities on staples as a financial instrument. And that's nothing new because XRP and Swift have been talking about that a long time, but it's more than that, right? It's central banks are getting involved with the main players to try to walk around, for example, like all of Web3, other than providing as the technology, But they, like I always said, they've been moonlighting each other for a long time. But September is probably a good time because they're going to have all their shit in order. The rest of these deals are going to get done. Like Advent hasn't finished kind of closing this deal for, Stripe and for PayPal and stuff, but it's getting done. It's worth trillions of dollars, fiscally. It's just, it's really getting bad, man. There has to be some kind of balance struck because the market's getting heavily monopolized, even more so. We used to have some antitrust, but that's been gone for such a long time now, but we really need it's critical. And I was hoping that some of the provisions in the Clarity Act would provide some of that, but there's other law that we're missing out on. Like we need to also pay attention to what's happening in MICA and I guess they're kind of substitution solutions. But look at China's moving with Enbridge, man, and aggressively. I never thought, like I said, I never thought I'd see, Union Pay work with Swift in my lifetime, but it's happened, right? And now you have PayPal and all these other banks already setting up for MPay. So Clarity Act needs to pass sooner than later so that we have some type of containment strategy, or we're going to get left behind because, Hong Kong, South Korea, the Emirates have, and even Japan's pushing super aggressive, with JPY and with SoftPay. They already have rails on the ground like SoftPay that are pushing.
Larry, Russia, dude.
Yep. Yeah, Russia too. Digital ruble coming soon. But they have to kind of rely on BRICS, so it's containable. But man, it's the landscape's changing, man. Like, people. One of the biggest reasons why digital currencies and stable tokens are pushing so much is, and especially like privacy layers. You look at all these different DEX aggregators. It's because cash, you can't use cash anymore, right? And now they're monopolizing, or they're highly restricting, investment into bullions and other like tangible physical commodities that are higher than the print count, right, per your dollar. So now the only other alternative for some privacy or some, large movement expenditures without as much scrutiny, I hate to say it, is, it's going to continue to be, digital currency, digital marketplace. So we need to hurry up and do something, man, because it's like you said earlier, Zach, some things, if it gets done, it's better than nothing. But we have to do something, though, because right now we're spinning on our fingers right now, doing nothing, right? We're just playing with pencils right now. And who does it benefit, right? To some, I'm
market maker. They make a fortune in fees.
Well, it's not just that. It's like the big businesses that are, the banks themselves and in the payment.
The world is a bit of a casino right now.
Can I jump in here?
Sure.
I think what we're witnessing the battle of open source versus closed loop, because what I think is essentially happening is that the previous thought was let's police and only allow people to buy the top 100 on CoinMarketCap. And now they're realizing they make much more money by just taking a 0.5 fee and letting everybody launch anything and allowing it to be open source and allowing people to police it themselves. So everyone wants regulations, but I think people are starting to realize that all they care about is the bottom line. So why police it and allow less projects when they can make 10 times or 100 times more money by just taking a small fee and allowing everything to launch?
Shogun, Lighter, Robinhood, and all of the aggregators now, right? They are on. What you said is very true, but I will tell you on this show, at Crypto Breakfast Club, I talked about 3 months ago what Robinhood was doing, right? I mentioned it against Lighter and against Poly and everyone else, but I will tell you, though, another reason why that the strategy that you're describing is being taken, it's a very interesting take, is also because they're limited by time, right? Yes, fees are high because right now we don't have clarity. We are in an in-between period where they're trying to figure out how do we do this. Look at the disastrous launch of OUSD. Me and Zach talked about this. Zach down there, not Zach Humphreys, but it's something we've all discussed. But they launched OUSD with no white paper. I was just like, wow. In this day and age, if you can't explain fee breakdown and distributions and the rails you're using, you just have all these partners jump on, and then all of a sudden, 60% of the banks that joined your coalition were like, maybe we shouldn't do this, And so right now, that's the kind of quagmire that we're in right now. Is like, we have a Clarity Act, but while we have this fog, who's profiting? And you have to ask yourself, it's not just the fact that it's for the have and have-nots, but really it's a money pump right now. Because once we get clarification and we get standards, it's funny that the act is called the Clarity Act at all. If anything, it's very convoluted, and we have all these last minute changes that have been added to the bill. It's not a good guy or bad guy thing. It's not a Democrat or politician thing. It's all about the money, right? And the only reason these last minute, some of them are radical changes, but some of them are just to buy time. because every
I always
every
wondered, was
mine-
it to bide time or to buy time?
Oh, to buy the time too, but also
BIDE or BYE?
BYE or BUI. I'm sorry, but look at it this way though. You have to think that any provision or any new byline that they add to the act, it takes months for them to do their due diligence, to see how it actually affects the rest of the language and the bill itself. And it's just like you could be someone that couldn't read or write. You could be illiterate and see that. I mean, a lot of it is just bureaucracy, just like they would do but no bill in quite some time has had this level of bureaucracy. When everyone was on board, it was a big election narrative. It was a big narrative for financial technologies as a whole to follow behind. And really, you could argue that it sparked hope for the rest of the world. And then after it hit this quagmire and this being stuck in the mud, then you see the rest of the world catch up and say, maybe it's not a great idea. So the EU passed sweeping, not just the EU but the UK. They have very similar requirements for VASP and MICA and their master authorities on what it is. And now it's just like, man, we're rugging the world by not getting this bill passed, right? Because much of the world doesn't care now, though. Much of the world doesn't care and has moved on.
Sorry, Larry. We got a kick on SpaceX trying to recover now. Not the way Bully's pushing. We got a kick on Lighter. We got a kick on Zcash. We got a kick on Sui Soul.
Ondo.
BNB's flying. Ondo's pushing.
Ondo's pushing.
Hype kicked as well. That's about it. Anybody got anything?
Oh, hey, good thing, Zach. Good thing you brought up BNB.
Oil dumping with the gold wick up, pushing us.
Real quick.
Ethereum's fucking flying. What did Ethereum do?
Real quick, Larry, and I want to get Alan in here real quick.
Okay, sure.
Alan from Quai, I want to get his thoughts on just Clarity Act and kind of just coming from another interesting, standpoint, obviously, where he sits with, with Quai. What's your take, Alan, right now with Clarity Act, man? What are your thoughts?
I think this is a really interesting topic, and apologies for joining late here. We're having some technical issues. The Clarity Act for Quai is a bit of an interesting place because Quai functions as a digital commodity. And so we're excited about it from the perspective of the government finally catching up to the crypto space. But I think that crypto doesn't inherently need a checkbox. It doesn't need someone to say this is how it should operate. I think it's good for adoption. It's good for institutions to get in. I think you have a lot of institutions kind of chomping at the bit to take part more in crypto from a regulated standpoint. But as one of the other speakers was saying, it's a global market and it's a global industry, and other places will sprint forward without us. And so it really depends how much innovation we want here in the US. I think we need to stop jailing developers. I think we need to make code like free speech. It is something that should be not frowned upon to be developers of this technology. I know as a developer myself, it's definitely worrisome sometimes when you see how developers can get treated and jailed and really kind of ridiculed for developing all of this great software that should be making the world a more fair place. And I think that, I've been up to DC. I've spoken with senators and congressmen and women about the effects of crypto and what they are looking to see. It was kind of more around genius as opposed to clarity. But I think a lot of the education is lacking on Capitol Hill, and a lot of them aren't really aware of how crypto functions, and you see them talk about it in a way that really is just pushing for which side wants and what the kind of concessions are, typical politics. And so I think in the current form, you had Coinbase kind of pushing for more of the yield on stable coins. You've had them pushing for more of the ways that crypto can win, but I think the sacrifice is ultimately going to be where the banks continue to win. And the people that are building true fundamental crypto technologies need to go and sort of dethrone those incumbents, because that's the way that crypto should be. It should be completely decentralized. It should be permissionless. It shouldn't rely on banks and custodians, and we don't need clarity to go and build that software, but we do want clarity in order to get more people onto that software in a way that they feel safe. So ultimately excited.
Can I just add something to that?
Yeah, jump on in.
I think this is going to be a big time for social coins once it comes out, right? I mean, imagine, and this is something that I've been trying to push for a long time. Each ICE officer that was deporting its quota or above would have their own social coin. Like, for example, I know this guy, John Roberts, right? He deported 90 people last month, right? I want a John Roberts coin, and that should be the right way of doing things. There are a lot of ways to unlocking liquidity that gives public service, right? And these things, these tools, they can help a lot of people, right? One thing about fintech itself right now is just everything. I hate fintech in general, to be honest. Everything costs way too much. The infrastructure costs way too much, and they can't charge a lot, right? Basically, everyone's becoming a European bank, and it's hella competitive out there. There's a lot of regulations. So the only thing that is a saving grace is crypto. That's the truth. I mean, if I could get social coins on detention centers, I would, because a social coin should go up when you detain more people, and it should go down if you don't.
I gotta disagree with that, man. I mean, speculating on that side.
What's the point of
I think social coins. We've seen social coins become a thing. We've had creator coins for 2 years now. We've had Base and Coinbase push content coins and creator coins, and they've ultimately just become a fad that has gone. I mean, we've had Base and Jesse ultimately admit that was
just phase 1 and phase 2, Alan. It was just the early phases.
I think there's been plenty of phases and experimentation there where it hasn't picked up, and I think speculation is the point of the market right now on some of those things where it's too niche and it's hurting crypto. I think we need things that rely on the true fundamentals, and you got people that are building.
Isn't the issue that 40 stable coins? Isn't that hurting crypto?
Because 100%. Stable coins are hurting crypto. I think that's been our same thesis in all the things that we've talked about.
The fundamental reason why there's so many stable coins out there is because companies could not get debt on behalf of their cash reserves. You know, most of the cash reserves are essentially money market funds, treasuries. And if I went to a bank and I had a company with $100 million in cash reserves, again, these are basically just treasuries as a reserve, I would get basically nothing for it as a debt facility. So therefore, smart people were innovating. They got stable coins going, and they're lending out to retail. They're taking their cash reserves, tokenized treasuries, they're bundling it, creating a stable coin name, and they're lending out to retail, right?
I mean, you can get 5 to 6%
SpaceX pushing
your money market funds. So
can I back what Jimmy's saying right now?
A stable coin.
Hold on real quick. Jimmy, hold on real quick. I appreciate all the different points, but let's just keep it like one at a time, and let's kind of bring it back. Shogun, go ahead. I'll let you jump in, and then Zach, I want to let you jump in too.
I think Zach's got something more pressing, but I just really wanted to reiterate what Jimmy was saying, and I can back up what he's saying technically. Go ahead, Zach.
Maybe not necessarily those of the incarcerators, but definitely with the social. What did all those tokens do? I'm not done talking. They all ended up rugging and then extracting from the entire pool during winter alt season, the 800 million and counting in pump fund. But there's no consolidation back into the ecosystem. That's why it hyped it so well. It bought its own chart and made it go, whatever. So in general, it's cute for people to keep rugging people, but not really that cute. We should move on. Sorry. And the negative connotation to the racism on Solana is why it never went to the all-time high again. I'm out.
Yeah. So I'm not making a single excuse for any person that launched previously phase 1, phase 2, even if it takes 10 phases. What I'm trying to say is that I don't even know Jimmy, but what he just said will eventually trend towards that. Now, let's not compare it to what has happened already with Brian and all these creator coins. Just simply view it like this. Ansem and Jason Williams are just the tip of the iceberg, guys. Like, he has 200 million in his wallet. The way that you see these CCM coins that have currently been rolled out and historically rolled out will not be the way that they will succeed in the future, but they will trend towards that. And here's how I know they will. Take a look at Twitch and Kick, okay? Those platforms pay their creators to the tune of like 100 times more of what you would make on Instagram or TikTok. It historically has been Google been the biggest payout. So YouTube pays the most creators. Until Justin Kahn, the co-founder, started Twitch. And now Kick is competing. Now what's going to eventually happen, guys, is people will realize that these creators on Twitch and Kick, some of them are making 6 to 7 figures a month. What eventually will happen is one of those creators will understand crypto enough to use a blueprint to roll their project out where it doesn't have to be one massive pump and dump. It doesn't have to be one massive extraction. That person will already have enough money where they won't have to steal from their audience, and they will take that blueprint and run with it. Why? Because the average Twitch or Kick creator has hundreds of thousands of people that pay $5 a month to sit and watch their content for 10 hours a day. Eventually, people will realize that you can have the same symbiotic relationship, but you can allow your community to clip for you and make money. You can allow your community to meme for you and make money and push your content out. This is why I believe what Jimmy's saying will eventually trend
if I could
towards
just
that.
add something very important to that. This is something super, super, super important that people are ignoring. I'll take a very small example. The Ukrainian armed forces. The Ukrainians are very innovative people. Do you know how units are getting equipment right now? They're getting equipment through an internal marketplace where each unit has a coin. You may not believe it, but that's actually what's going on.
He's right.
Verified drone kills lead to getting more coins. You use those coins in that marketplace to buy equipment from the Ukrainian armed forces. That was the only way of doing it because they have a limited number of equipment, and this allows them to send equipment to units that are successful in using the equipment to accomplish objectives. Otherwise, it was a completely fucked up, irrational, backward Soviet system where the most corrupt officers who are getting kickbacks were sending equipment to units who are begging for them to get it, right? That is a very small example. That is where the world is trending towards. So one unit, for example, I think it was, the Hungarian Falcons. They got 90. Okay, Zach, well, you're leaving because you lost. Because our evidence is so incredibly overwhelming. Like, there was
no, it's just something yelling. Sorry, please go ahead.
I'm trying to let everybody jump in, but like Larry, I think had something. Larry, go ahead. Did you disagree?
I'll stop there, but that is a very small example of an existing use case which absolutely defined a purpose and really solved their problem, which was an age-old problem of how to organize resources, and it was a social point. Fundamentally, it was nothing more than Ukrainian guys saying, there's social coins out there. Let's do social coins, okay? And we're gonna have a marketplace, and we're gonna fix all this shit overnight.
I want Alan or Larry to maybe jump back in because I think they had points of contention.
I just think we've had the tools for social coins for some time, and I think there may be future iterations. And I don't want to put those points to the side where they can continue to evolve, because I think everything is becoming hyper digital. I think communities are becoming very tight knit, and I do think there is value in that. Although I do think where crypto needs to go broadly is that there needs to be larger assets that people are focused on, that are centered around, that we use more as denominating unit of accounts and are used broadly. I think we still need Bitcoin to win. I think we still need larger crypto assets to win. And I think that we need to make a broader push for the cypherpunk values that come from using these crypto assets, especially in times of a bear market, as opposed to a lot of distractions where it's kind of PvP and more kind of the microcosms of crypto versus the sort of broader vision. And I don't think the really won yet in the ability for us to kind of go on those detours and have that high niche civilization. I think it happens, and I think it will happen over time, but I don't think we're currently in that phase. And so, because I think the history with different types is showing us what sticks. And I just don't think that the creator coins have fully stuck. Maybe that's just a symptom of them being in their current version. Maybe there's more to come. But that would be kind of where my head is at, is how do we get crypto as a whole with the true fundamental properties, like someone mentioned, a hype, or what we're working on with Quai or Bitcoin or other things that are more revenue generating and more primitive, to kind of get that out into the world.
Can I jump in, or somebody else?
I wanted
Go ahead.
to let Larry jump in too if he wanted to jump.
Sorry, I meant Larry. Yeah, go ahead, Larry.
Larry, did you have something?
I mean, yeah, I just, you know, the way that, you know, a lot of I would just tell you that the way that equipment is distributed, both, you know, I mean, I don't want to talk too much about it, but, you know, most of the equipment, a lot of the equipment is on Lend-Lease, and but the Ukrainian military has a lot of, you know, has really developed their military-industrial complex as of the last, you know, 4 years. But even prior to that in Ossetia and Donbass, they have been, you know, provided equipment via the Lend-Lease programs for many, you know, not just UN nation states, NATO, but as well as the U.S. And the way the Lend-Lease works has nothing to do with the social coin. They just...
No, that's not what I was talking about. You're completely mis...
No, I'm not. I just don't want you to tell people that they're buying and equipping themselves with tokens in the field. That's not the case. When they meet objectives, they're provided, just like most... I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a volunteer unit or a conscript unit. They are provided equipment via, you know, standard supply chain. And, you know, the way the cage contracts work, for example, the distribution, I mean, they're not using coins to transact and to complete for their equipment. That's not how you get transacted in digital currency like USDT, for example, or USDC, or, you know, your choice. But that was you know, maybe it's more common now. But as far as provisioning for equipment, that is not the way it works. Not in the Ukraine, and I'm, as many of you here know. So. I just don't want people to get this impression that, you know, and people are getting paid for how many kills they're racking. That's, you know, that's just Hungarian Falcons, you know. I know most of the volunteer units and frontline units have special operations units that have served in the Donbass, Ossetia, and beyond. And I'm very, you know, I am fairly addressed on a lot of the, you know, the new IoT technologies that are emerging, not just from there, but other low-intensity conflict zones. But I would tell you that's not how it is done, and I would tell you that, yeah, that's really not good information for...
Did you say GWAT?
GWAT, not the GIAT.
I was gonna say, so GIAT's not taking GIAT token. Got it. Okay.
No. But I just want people here to get that is not right, and you know.
Real quick, Larry. Let me just set the record real quick. So, you know, just to let you guys know, I always try to bring up everybody, hear people out, but when people I trust in the space like message me about some things in the back channels, then we have to like kick people off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
I'm not trying to throw dirt on the same, but this is the same. You know, as many of you know, you see from my receipts, I'm in China. I work in China. I work in Hong Kong. I work in Seoul, in South Korea. That is my APAC major minor is where I work, right? And the last time myself and the Mr. Otter gentleman was on here, and I'm not trying to throw any shade, but he told me he met the foreign minister of finance.
I remember that now.
Bro,
that's why I was trying to text you earlier, bro.
Got it. Okay.
So
You mean it wasn't me? Okay.
When you do these things every single day, you just kind of
And
forget.
Shogun just fucking consigning everything.
No, wait. Let me correct this, because
Bro, the background.
I was talking about the the streaming. I was talking about the streaming. I don't know about the
and it
deportation
didn't work
stuff.
for Elon with the fucking trying to get the kick business. It failed.
But let me please correct this after Larry, because I'm going to
defend you real quick, Shogun. No, Shogun, I'm going to defend you. He presented himself on this platform, but I take super exception because people die upon this business, and when you want to mix token, like something that we're Web3 people here, right? And you mix that with people giving up their lives or sacrificing them. It's not a video game. Like, no, people don't get paid. It's just crazy. They're not getting their weapons allotments and their standard equipment allocations by their rankings of what they do and if their objectives are met in the field. That is a super people die over this, right? So I take that deadly serious. I have friends that are volunteers in some of the foreign brigades. I also know people that served on the other side, right? This is not about politics. This is not about, but like, you need to remember that people make the ultimate sacrifice, no matter what side you're on. There's tragedy on both sides. We can't have people saying that it's like, I can tell you, for example, the weapons that are distributed. I can give you like, 6R. There's a lot of manufacturers, that Delton, 6R, DPMS. Those are the rifle. Almost every, and Remington, when it was Remington military, there was an R1, AR-15, and Colts, right? We sent them a plethora of different rifles and carbines, and we had munitions from I shouldn't talk too much about it, right?
Let's just get back to the markets. Let's just just leave it. It is what it is. It happens. It's spaces. It's open.
Shogun, I don't mean to cut you off, Zach, but I will defend you. You are just talking. I know that
Larry, you and Shogun along is my friend.
Okay,
he was coming at it from. Yeah.
Out of respect for Zach, I just wanted to quickly clarify. I didn't know that he was going to go in that direction. I wanted to talk about like Ansem and Jason Williams and what you guys were talking about, creator coins. Just to simplify it.
Likely end up in that direction, though, right?
Yeah. That was I was not expecting that. Like,
at the end of the day, I blame Mars. Somehow this is Mars' fault. Thank you.
2 seconds, just for you to conceptualize it, because this is my background. I'm saying I don't agree with how any of this CCM has happened to date, but all it takes, guys, is one creator. Because understand this, Twitch and Kick people pay their clippers handsomely. Some clippers get paid $100,000 a month. All it's going to take is for one of those main streamers to say, hey, clippers, community members, my watchers, these are people that are in a parasitic relationship with that creator. They're essentially paying $5 a month to Twitch. Twitch takes a cut and pays the creator for their subs. What's going to eventually happen is someone will realize that and flip the business model and say, okay, instead of giving 50% to Twitch, I'm going to buy 90% of my coin, and I'm going to pay all my clippers, my tweeters, my people that are growth hacking me 50% split between USDC and the token, and now they're going to be a part of growing my audience. I think that'll exponentially grow, and it'll onboard a lot of people to crypto. That's my thoughts. That's my opinion.
That's very good. What I wanted to say, Otter did make one good point though. Like identity tokens are true, but I'll give you an example. Like the Kingdom of Bhutan tried to push an identity token based on Solana. I've been privy to the project and privy to their launch and the gold token, but like many other protocols in the space, will it get adopted and will people use it, right? So, Shogun, what you're saying is very true, and what Otter was talking about on identity tokens, like you see World Token and all these other, privacy / you can't do everything at the same time, especially when it's on both ends of the spectrum. But what I did want to say is, thank you for all of you that prayed for my grandmother. I've been kind of out of the cycle and what's going on, because I had a cousin that I lost, and then because of that, it caused my grandmother to have health issues, and now she's in hospice and counting down what may be the next few days or the time I have with her. So I've been missing, but I just wanted to, for all of you that did send messages and everything and prayers, thank you. I really, you don't know how much that means to me. I just to have two passings. We have Jamie Miner down there. I told Jamie knows I was on a boat spreading my first cousin's ashes, right? And then it caused my grandmother to have a small stroke that compounded her health issues. So I put out a small post on that. But many of you have sent your well wishes, and I just wanted to it's been really tough because it's like the last maternal figure I have left. My mom died when I was 15, and so it's just crazy that I had actually 3 deaths in the last month, and I want to say thank you before I take off, because I got to get off to another meeting. But take care of yourselves, and it's the world is bigger than the sum of a few words or a few dollars. I wanted to thank you guys, and have the best day. So I'll take you. I'm gonna drop off Zach. Me and Zach are gonna be on a space soon as well, so look out for that. And Paige, you had a good time in Japan.
Larry,
yeah, Mark.
How I see death, man, it's like really being born again, bro. Who the hell wants to stay in this world for such a long time, bro?
Yeah, you're very right. But call me. But I'm selfish, man. I just feel like I haven't had my mom in so long, bro. So like she outlived a lot of. I mean, I'm really close with my grandma, man. So to be basically 2 buildings away from her hospice, and trying to keep my aunt together from the guilt, and just I don't even want to be sharing this like this right now, but it's just a lot. And for all of you that just like send some messages and stuff, I really appreciate it. I haven't been through this amount of impact of death since I was in the military, where I lost a lot of friends that have, and it really set me back. But you guys are helping me stay in the fight. So love you guys, man. And I got unfinished business and DMs, and I got lots of stuff to take care of. But I appreciate the time, man. I just didn't expect my grandmother to.
Larry, you have kids?
Yeah.
That's the one that you don't want to bury, man. That's the one that you don't want to. My mother always said. I've always told my mother, like, man, I did so many crazy stuff, Larry. Like, she's like, son, please, I want you to see me pass away. I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, because I don't want to see you pass away. Stop, behaving bad and doing other stuff. I'm like, all right, Mom. That's the one that. I guess.
I just wanted to, before I take off, you guys happy trading and make lots of money. But while you're doing that, if you can take extra 5 minutes to tell your loved one you love them or whatever, say hi to your grandma or your mom, and consider it a gift every day, man. Because without a grandmother and mother, none of us would be here. None of us knuckleheads would be talking about what we're talking about right now. So take some time to be nice and just hold down the maternal figures in your life, man.
Larry, my mama was a hoe, and now I have to pay taxes. Thanks.
Whoa. What? Jesus Christ.
She was.
You got all the giat, man. You got all the giat.
You've seen it. I don't care.
Yeah, for sure. No filter, man. But Zach,
you have my back and you kiss my.
Oh my God.
It's all good, man.
Oh my God.
All right, guys, but I'll drop off, man, and I wish you guys all the best.
My sister's a huge gambler. She loves those little machines that are behind the market. Dude, it's like me and her go at it. It's the few, it's the only family I have here other than my daughter. And me and her go at it. Dude. It's like but that's her addiction, dude. That's what she loves to do. But when I got COVID, that I was dying, she's the one that took care of me. So
Exactly,
she
bro.
blew all her money, and I gave her, and I gave her. I go, listen, here's a car. I put the car under my name to make sure she doesn't sell it. I bought it, a little Honda, $8,000 car. Bought it for her, gave it to her, and people are like, you're crazy. I go, 12. That's about the only family I got. And yeah, she's not perfect, but it is what it is. But I could guarantee you one thing: whenever I get sick, that bitch will be there for me to take care of me.
I agree with you, man. My grandma is a realist, man. Like when my mom decided to get with my stepfather and stuff, a lot of the family disowned her, but my grandma kept herself around and didn't, because it's a big ordeal, man. But I would just tell you, man, she kept it 100 all the time, and she held me down when there's no one else to hold me down, man. It's just different, man, and yeah, if you have a loved one, man, it doesn't matter who it is, like if it's your family or just whoever you care about, man. Just life is so short, man. It's fleeting. You to have 3 people be removed that people that I just love, and just under different. It's just crazy, man. You just gotta have to keep faith in the process, man, and I value the sum of my relationships much more, man, and just that is the one I guess big thing that it gives you is it keeps you grounded, man. It lets you know that your ego doesn't mean shit. None of this money means shit. At the end of the day, it's you come from dust, you go back to dust, man. And old people, man, they brought you in as a child, but they leave the world as children, right? Their facilities get reduced, and just to see people, I think you guys know what I'm talking about. I just get a little bit choked up, man. I gotta go, guys, but man, I appreciate you guys, and yeah, man, it's just been hard. So yes, just take care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you guys. Yeah. So yeah.
You got us, Larry.
All right, guys. Yeah. Bye.
Hey, yo, Mom! Don't do crack. All right.
Tell your mothers you love them if they're still here,
I just told my mom just now. Y'all heard.
That's the moral of the story. Call your mom right now and tell her you love her.
Call your mothers.
Shotgun, we gotta have this conversation with the Bitcoin maxis to remind them that they're not taking their Bitcoin with them when they fucking die.
That's the
They're never gonna sell it.
That's the moral.
That's their thesis. It's the whole thing.
Mar, that's your moral of the story. These people act like they're gonna fucking that their Bitcoin is leaving with them to have.
That's what they want Sailor to do. They want Sailor to burn as a strategy.
Oh my god.
The way these people.
They're gonna go up there and tell them about self-custody, man.
Oh my god. They're like Sailor bot. Yeah, no TC, no one cares. Buy on the open order book market. Come on, hit me with $1 billion. It's been years. Those vectors, remember those vectors? You were there around, Zach. You guys know.
Sailor.
Oh,
Sailor,
man.
Sailor,
Remember those big old green bars that didn't go away?
Where's Mutasco? Every time Mutasco buys MSRP, he buys more Bitcoin. Thank you.
You said MSRP? What is he buying?
MSRP, MSTR.
Oh, he's buying market price.
MSRP,
Mar smokes crack.
These spaces are so raw and real, man. That was a while. I had no idea that was about to happen.
I don't want to spend my morning kicking the crap out of somebody.
Listen,
A lot just happened in the last half hour, man. There was a lot that just went down there.
Hey, I'm not a crackhead, but if you never
Clip that. Fucking clip that.
if you have never smoked crack, you haven't lived.
Jesus. We're not advocating smoking crack.
Oh my god.
I think we can wrap it up right there, guys. We have meetings and shit to get to, so
There's somewhere else to be.
Tomorrow's another day.
Yeah, we gotta. I think at this point, guys, be on the lookout for some more Zach Humphreys content. Also, make sure you go watch my interview.